good evening, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. All right, I got a good one lined up for you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in and watching. On tonight's episode, we're going to talk about a little film that came out on July 31st of 1987. And this is a film that is one of my faves. It's it's one of my favorite movies of this genre, and I mean it stood the test of time. Like I said, it came out in 1987, so it's an oldie but a goodie. And it was directed by a fellow by the name of Joel Schumacher, and he's directed such films as Blood Creek from 2009. That was a really good, I believe it was a direct to DVD film that came out in 2009. And I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it before, it's definitely worth a watch, even if you just watch it the one time. It's a very good flick, a very good flick. And he's also responsible for directing Batman Forever from 1995. And a lot of people didn't like that Batman Forever. I wasn't totally on board with it. The only thing that I was on board with was Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face and Jim Carrey as the Riddler. Phenomenal acting by both those men in that role, in their roles. And he's also responsible for directing the film Flatliners from 1990. Now, that is a film that I have not seen yet. Everybody keeps telling me I need to sit down and I need to watch it. It's a great movie. But I have not been able to sit down and watch it yet. And I haven't seen the remake either. Because I don't want to watch the remake if I've never even seen the original film. So, with that being said, we're going to go on. And the film we're going to talk about tonight is called The Lost Boys. And of course, this is a great vampire flick from from the late 80s, 1987, like I said. Jason Patric plays in this film, and he plays the character of Michael, and he's also played in such films as Terrifier 3 from 2024. I've seen Terrifier, but I have not watched the other two, so I can't say anything about it. He also played in a film called The Losers from 2010. I thoroughly enjoyed that film. And he also played in a film called Rush from 1991, which is an excellent film. Two of those films are great. I don't know about Terrifier 3. I've never watched it, but The Losers and Rush are definitely worth a watch. And of course, the film stars the great Corey Haim, who plays the character of Sam. And he's also played in such films as Stephen King's Silver Bullet from 1985. That was a great werewolf movie. Fantastic werewolf movie. And he also played in the sci-fi action horror from 1988, Watchers. That was a good movie. I like that. That one was real good. And he also played in the action comedy, Fast Getaway from 1991, and that co-starred Cynthia Rothrock.
How you doing?
Next.
Fine.
I'm here to change the 20.
I like a man with money.
Yeah?
Next, please.
That was a great film. All three of those films were good. If you have not seen Fast Getaway, it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a fan of Cynthia Rothrock. It's a good bank robber, father-son duo type movie. It's fantastic. And of course, the film stars the great Kiefer Sutherland, who plays the character of David. And he also played in such films as Renegades from 1989, and that was with Lou Diamond Phillips. That was a fantastic film. He also played in the action comedy The Cowboy Way from 1994, and that was with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, come on, man, what you doing?
I am embarrassed. Our friend here is not wearing any underpants.
Oh, he sees it.
Damn. That hungry devil there thinks your little weenie is his mama's tit.
I love that movie. I don't care what anybody says. I love that movie. And who could forget his role in the 1988 film Young Guns? Classic movie. Classic. Okay, so this film does have a humongous cast. And here are some other characters in the film. Jamie Gertz plays in the film. She plays the character of Star. Of course, Corey Feldman plays in the film as Edgar Frog. And he's paired up with Jameson Newlander, who plays the character of Alan Frog. And then, of course, you had Alex Winter, who plays the character of Marco. And then you have Bernard Hughes, who plays the grandpa in this film. It had a budget of $8,500,000, and the worldwide gross for the film before it was through was $32,542,712. Quite a big hit. Quite a big hit. Quite a big hit. And the plot for the film is when a recently divorced mother of two teen boys moved to a coastal town to stay with her father, it doesn't take long for the brothers to realize that the area is a haven for something more sinister than party-going surfers. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the trailer for The Lost Boys. Roll it.
Michael and Sam have just moved to Santa Carla, California. They're about to discover its secret.
Notice anything unusual about Santa Carla yet?
No. It's a pretty cool place. If you're a Martian.
Or a vampire.
When you're a stranger, when you scream.
So where are you? The flying nun?
I'm your brother, Sammy. Help me!
Stay back! Stay back!
What's happening to me, Star? Get yourself a good sharp steak. Drive it right through his heart.
You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a damn blood-sucking vampire.
Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy. When a vampire buys it, it's never a pretty sight.
Michael, they're coming! Oh, shit!
All right, that was the trailer for The Lost Boys. The Lost Boys is a movie that effectively combines a cool and attractive look with a simple but very entertaining plot, resulting in a successful and charming film. The story modernized classic elements of the vampire myth and adapts it to its time with intelligence and definitely tongue-in-cheek humor. It's definitely is its own telling of the vampire story. And it's basically it is a 80s film. It's set in the 80s and it does have a little bit of date on it, if you would want to call it that. But it's symbolic more of a time period piece because of the fashion and the styles back in the 80s. They're highly relevant in this film. The self-aware comedy approach is what makes the film enjoyable, and it relies more on fun and laughs than actual scares. No, this movie's not really all that scary. There's a few scenes that might make you jump. It didn't bother me any, but it's not all about the scares. This film's not all about the scares. The flamboyant visual composition of the film fits perfectly in the movie's time and context, and it is one of the film's biggest assets. Schumacher's fluid and energetic camera work, makes the movie flow with a nice rhythm, and the film never becomes dull or boring. There is so much that goes on in this film that you get pulled into the story. So you get hung up in there and you can't turn away from it. I mean, not for any length of time. You want to find out what's going to happen. You want to find out, what's going on, how they're going to do this and how they're going to do it. It's thoroughly entertaining. Thoroughly entertaining. The cast is great and very effective. Corey Haim is remarkably good and perfect for the role of Sam. Michael, played by Jason Patric, does good, but I feel like he was overshadowed by the great Kiefer Sutherland, who uh, played his role as David in the film, and he steals every scene he's in with his charm and his presence. Kiefer Sutherland has always been a remarkable actor. And this movie just thoroughly, proves my point. Jamie Gertz gives a somewhat lackluster performance, but veterans Diane West and Edward Herman are both excellent in this film. Uh, and they do have some funny lines in this film. They do have some funny lines in there. The soundtrack for this film is definitely worth mentioning. With quite an assembly of awesome 80s bands like NXS, who perform Good Times and Laying Down the Law, Echo and the Bunnymen's cover of The Doors' People Are Strange, Aerosmith and Run DMC with Walk This Way, and Lou Graham's Lost in the Shadows, to name a few. This is one 80s vampire flick that is definitely worth sinking your teeth into. Um, you can't go wrong with this film. I guarantee you. You'll enjoy it from start to finish. Corey Haim is phenomenal. And this, if I'm not mistaken, this was one of the first films that the two Coreys starred in together. So it started the whole two Coreys franchise of movies and working together and things of that nature with this film. With this film. So that was fantastic. Um, the sets are cool. The look of the vampires is really cool. The contacts in the eyes are fantastic. They have a fantastic modern look for that time period. So they're fantastic. All right. So we're gonna get into some trivia for this episode of this film. There's music. All right. So starting on trivia, Santa Cruz, standing in for the fictional town of Santa Carla, was once plagued with the rep of being the murder capital of the world because of a series of very brutal murders that took that a series of very brutal murders by three different very disturbed men in the 70s. These three men committed 28 murders over a 30-month period between 1970 and 1973. Wow. I mean, that is horrible. Um, I wished I could have found out more about the story in there to give a little bit more information on it, but that's bad enough as it is. But and they put, it is in the film. It's in the trailer. You saw it in the trailer. The murder capital of the world back then. The new location of the Atlantic Fantasy World comic book store, which was shown in the film, is owned by Joe Ferreira II, who still carries the original #1 issue of Vampires Everywhere that Sam reads in the film. And its opening page is signed by the film's cast. That'd be pretty cool. That would be a neat thing to have in a collection. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got here. The names of the Frog brothers, Edgar and Allan, are a reference to Edgar Allan Poe, well-known writer of horror fiction. Yeah, I kind of figured that one. I think a lot of people knew that already, to be honest. In the Cave of the Lost Boys, you can see a poster of Jim Morrison, who originally recorded the song People Are Strange with the Doors. Also, when Star and Laddie are being carried into Sam's room, you can see a poster of Echo and the Bunnymen, who recorded the version of the song used in the movie. That's pretty cool. They paid homage to both of them. That's great. In the documentary Blood-Sucking Cinema from 2007, Corey Haim said that the blood had glitter in it to give it a shimmering effect and was similar or was slimier than the original fake blood. You really couldn't tell. I didn't know that. I never really could tell that there was glitter in that. But that's kind of cool to know. In the scene where the vampire gang tries to pursue Sam and the Frog brothers from escaping their cave into the daylight, David grabs Sam's leg, but Sam manages to drag David's hand into the sunlight where it catches fire. You see a tear running down David's face, and it was actually caused by Kiefer Sutherland's contact lenses that were stinging terribly. They left it in the film because it looked really good and was in context. I didn't know that. I thought it was just, it was meant to be. It was meant to be in there. And I guess in a way it was meant to be in there because they left it in there anyway. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, those contacts can be rough. They can be rough. Both the bandstand that the band is playing on when Michael first sees Star and the Frog Brothers comic book shop were destroyed in the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. Max's house and the bridge Thorne chases Lucy over were also destroyed in the quake. Man, the quake don't play no favorites, man. When it strikes, and it don't care what it destroys. That's pretty sad, though. I hate that. I hate to hear that. Kiefer Sutherland was originally reluctant to star in the film until he heard that Schumacher had lined up INXS and Jimmy Barnes to sing some of the songs on the soundtrack. Kiefer had spent a summer in Australia as a child and became a fan of their music. Well, thank God he got INXS and Jimmy Barnes to come in there because I don't think anybody else could have played that role the way he played it. He earned that role. He earned that role. In my opinion. In my opinion. Let's see, what else we got here? Several thousand of the local residents answered the call for family types, street people, punks, surfers, roller skaters, and one brain-dead hippie. 2,000 of the applicants were signed for several nights' work on what was the largest film production ever brought to that area in that time. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Okay, got a spoiler here, so if you haven't seen the film before, go ahead and skip past this part. David is impaled on a pair of antlers and doesn't disintegrate like the other vampires. This was intended to be picked up in the sequel, The Lost Girls, which was scripted but never made. The Wildstorm Comics miniseries, The Lost Boys' Reign of the Frog, in 2008, helped bridge the 20-year gap between films. It's implied that David not only survived the impaling, but went on to create Shane, the head vampire in The Lost Boys The Tribe from 2008. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool to know that. Um, I would have loved for them to have made an actual sequel like that. That would have been cool. But they did make two more films after this one for the Lost Boys. Of course, The Tribe, and then there was another one, but I can't remember what the name of it was right off the bat. But there were two more. Um, I don't think they were very well received. I'm not sure. I don't think they were. But I liked them. I mean, they didn't catch the original magic of the first film, of course, but they were good films, in my opinion, that carried on the story pretty well. I mean, uh, they had the Frog Brothers in both parts, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think I remember correctly. So it carried on the story pretty good, and they did mention the Michael and Sam in the tribe. So they cleared they I think Sam even showed up at the end of the tribe. It was a after credit scene, I believe. But in the final film, neither one of them, Michael or Sam, was in that, which is pretty sad to see that they made that without them. But anyway, um, I think that the third part was made after Corey Haim had passed away, I believe. So that's sad too. But anyways, I like the other two parts of the film. I own all three movies on DVD, and I'm glad to have them in my collection. All right. So with that being said, we're going to end the video here. This is a fantastic movie from the late '80s. If you have not seen this movie before, it's definitely worth a watch. You will thoroughly enjoy it. I know me and my daughter, we love the Lost Boys franchise. Um, so it holds a place in my heart, especially for that. And because I am a huge fan of the film, I enjoyed that film so very much. And I hope you check it out if you haven't seen it. And even if you have, hey, go back and check it out. You know, it's always good to go back and watch a classic, brings back some memories. So with that being said, we're going to end the video here. I will see you guys again on Wednesday for Mikey's Classic Movie Buffet Theater. And then back again next weekend for another Saturday Nightmares. So until Wednesday, I will see you guys in the next one. And the weather's getting bad out there. Please be safe, take care, and I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Good night. Bye bye.